All right, so what you see in front of you is the protractor that we've been working with. This is the geometry tool we use to measure angles. So just kind of as a quick review, if you remember, we've got this sunshine portion inside. And right here, where the X is at the bottom of my sunshine, is where we would line up our vertex. Remember the line that, or the point of an angle where your two lines come together. So let's see if I can get a point in there for you. So right here is where we line up the vertex. The other important information that you need to make sure that you're following before you start reading the protractor for measurement is that you're going to line up your angle using the horizon. So you would either line it up to the left or you would be lining it up to the right. Now, again, make sure that you are acknowledging this kind of like space on the bottom here. You don't want to line up your angle on the bottom of the protractor. You want to make sure that you are lining it up what I call the horizon of my sunshine. So you would, again, whatever my angle may be, if it is something, oh, I'm going the wrong direction here, but if my angle was opening up to the right, again, do you notice how the bottom line is lined up with the horizon and my vertex is on the sunshine? So those are your two key points. So the first thing we're going to do is just practice warming up, measuring those single angles. So taking a look at this one over here, again, I'm looking at those two parts. I'm going to line up my vertex right here at the cross of my sunshine and making sure that arrow or the side of the angle is lined up with the horizon. From there, again, kind of visually follow your line out, and you're always going to start at 0 because that's how we count. So in this case, for this angle, we would be reading the outside measurements. Come on up here, we are at, now again, it goes in single increments. So here would be 55, 56. So this one is at 57 degrees. Taking a look at number 2, this is an example of where it might be best to shift your paper. So you could come on over, see if I can get it shifted. And again, meaning that like if you like one of your sides to be, quote, horizontal, just go ahead and turn your paper, okay? And then you can line up your protractor. And I don't know if I did the best job lining my paper up horizontal here. Let me see. There we go. So then you move your protractor. Again, your vertex, point of my angle goes right where that cross is on my sunshine. The side of my angle is right along the horizon there. I still am just slightly off. Again, a little easier on paper, guys. So when you think it's rough, think of me struggling on the computer here. So again, once you have it lined up, move on out to your arrow. This case, this example, you would be reading your inside numbers. Because again, we start measuring at 0. So come on up. Here's 80. We're a little bit past that, 81, 82. It looks like it's pointing to 83. So for the second one here, you should get the degree measurement of 83. Now, if you're at home, you're just kind of following along just to make sure that you are comfortable with the measurements. If you're in person, you're actually down and dirty with the protractor and figuring them out. All right, so 2 more just to kind of make sure we definitely feel comfortable with it before we move on. So here is angle WXY, and I'm going to line up my sunshine, that X right on the vertex. Line at the bottom here is flush with my horizon. Reading this time inside numbers because I start at 0. I would work my way up and keep going until you reach the other angle. This one would be 140, 141, about 142 for a measurement here. I don't know why my pen is not working correctly, but 142 would be your measurement. All right. Looking at number 2, or looking, again, second one on this page, don't worry about the numbers, but if we look at this one, this is an example that, again, you could use your protractor and manipulate it and just turn it around and buddy it on up, or again, you can use your paper turning method and kind of just turn it until you get one of those lines or sides of your angle completely horizontal. Then we are free to line up our protractor. Again, vertex on the cross of my sun, moving out from my ray. This example, I use my outside numbers to count because we always start at 0. And this one is just shy of 70. It's about 69. All right, so here's kind of what we're looking at today. Sometimes you're going to have angles that all share the same vertex. So if you see, there's a lot of different angles in here. Oh, sorry, I actually meant to use this one, sorry. So same angle, I just measured it or labeled it a little bit differently here, but the same idea. They're all sharing this vertex of O. So this is where, again, identifying and labeling angles was very important so that you know where to look and you know where to measure. So if I'm asked to measure angle 1, looking up here in my image, angle 1 is right here, which is referring to this angle. So to measure it, I'm just solely kind of ignoring all the other angles, just measuring that one. So I'm going to put my sunshine, line it up there so that my vertex is on the cross of the sunshine. Moving on out, it is horizontal, it's on my horizon. Counting using my numbers on the outside, this one is just shy of 50, but it is 49. So this first one here is 49. Okay, moving on to the next angle. Same image, POQ. So again, you can label angles and identify angles by 3 letters. So POQ would be this one right in here. So I'm kind of ignoring everything else that's not yellow there. Putting my protractor, crossing my sun right on that red arrow, following the horizon with the side. Then from there, I'm actually going to see if I can erase in here. When you follow your line out, we start counting at 0, so 0, 10, 20, it's pretty much exactly on 30 there. So POQ, 30 degrees. All right, SOQ. Again, remember, they all share that O vertex, so you're going to see a lot that have that O in the middle. So SOQ, SOQ. So again, kind of just to make sure that you're looking in the right direction. We're talking about this angle right here. Now, this might be one that you want to turn the paper. So if I am, and I know it's not going to stick there, my highlighting. So let me actually go back and erase it. But you can see I'm looking at that middle angle in here. So again, if you like to turn your paper, you absolutely can. You have a paper and copy in front of you for your assignment. So you don't have to do any of this craziness on the computer. But okay, so once you have it, kind of turned, I'm going to put the cross of my sun right on that O vertex, move on out to the side that I'm looking at. And again, I'm looking at SOQ, so we're looking at this angle. So counting from my inner circle, because I started 0, moving our way up. Here is 100, we're 101, 102, 103 for SOQ. 103. It's not letting me see here to go back. All right, and the last one there, if you're measuring angle 2. So again, this one was 103. Looking at angle 2, I move my protractor here. Angle 2, again, numbers are the easiest way to identify and label. Should kind of bring your eyes right here to this section. So now we're measuring this angle. So another one that doesn't have a horizontal line to start with, so we're free to turn our paper if that's the best method for you to measure. So let's see if I can get this turned again. And again, you're just looking to, again, if this is the angle that I'm kind of focused on, I want to make sure that bottom line is horizontal. And you can also flip it the other way. I just tend to, I don't know if it's because I'm a righty, to kind of go this direction. I can show you another example turning it the other way. So again, I was looking for one of my rays to be horizontal, and then we're going to line it up so that my vertex O is directly on this cross of the sun, Moving on out, I start at 0 and I work my way up. Here's 40, 45, 46. So this other one here, this last one is 46 degrees. All right, so this is kind of the skill we're looking at today is being able to measure the angles that have multiple angles put together and share a vertex. So a couple more for you. So angle 1, here is my angle 1. It's the small angle here on the left. Same idea. We can kind of ignore everything else. We're going to put the cross of my sun directly on the vertex O, and then make sure that it's along the horizon, and then start counting. So angle 1 is 30 degrees. I don't know why my pen here is just not working out here. So I'm going to stop writing them down, but hopefully you can follow along as we measure. All right, taking a look, if I was going to measure angle 2, looking at my picture, angle 2 is right here. So this would be another one where I'm going to want to turn my paper. So let's see if I can shift here. And again, I'm going to turn it this way just to show you. Again, I'm looking for one of my sides, either this side of angle 2 or this side, to be horizontal. So I decided to kind of turn it the other way this time. Either way is fine. Then I'm going to line up my O right on the cross of the sun, move on out. This time I'm using my outer numbers to calculate the measurement. So moving up along here, we've got 90. It's right in between 90 and 100, so that's 95. All right, if you were asked to measure DOB, here's D, here's O, here's B. So we are looking at this measurement right here, DOB. So we would kind of ignore everything else. This is another one that doesn't have a horizontal line to start with. So again, this is where we would shift our angle, turn our paper, and I'm looking at DOBs. This time again, make OB horizontal. So I'm going to flip or shift my paper here. Once it is horizontal, I'm going to go ahead and put my cross of the sun right here at the vertex. I'm actually going to shift my protractor here a little bit just to make sure that it matches up. So again, I was looking at this line, or the side of my angle has to line up exactly with the horizon. Starting at 0, then I'm going to work my way up. And again, it was DOB. So I was looking at this angle right here. So starting at 0, working my way around. I'm coming over clear to here, which is at, here's 130, 131, 132. So the measure of DOB is 132. All right, so there's a couple more angles. Hopefully you understand what you're doing. Again, if you've got a horizontal line, you can go ahead and just line your protractor up and measure. If you need to turn your paper and line it up, either way works. So we're running out of time on my video, so hopefully you feel confident in what you're doing. If you look on this next slide here, this is what is in your packet. So what I want you to do for your assignment, and if you don't have a paper packet, the link is in the assignment that you can open it up and just number 1 to 5. You're going to have to use your protractor on the computer so that you can measure it, but at least you have an actual protractor, and it's a little bit easier to manipulate than the one online. But you're going to go ahead and complete the measurements for the angles listed on 1 to 5. Ignore that it says together and you try. Not a big deal. So that's what you're looking to complete. Again, bottom of page 5 in your packet, or using the link on the assignment, and submit a picture when you're finished.